you ended up being a 5-day-a-week intern and not getting paid any of the days?
Not getting paid.
Hey, man.
However,
do what you gotta do. Yeah.
Tragedy struck.
Oh, no.
And a deadline was needed.
Yeah.
And they needed someone to work the camera. Because at the time...
Deadlines and tragedies at Spunko? Never heard of it.
In animation, period. In production. No, I know, yeah. Yeah, it happened more often than not. But, no, it was great. But we were still shooting stuff, like, with cameras. Like, this was not even... We weren't scanning yet. Like, this was, like, on the cusp of that.
This is circa 1998?
This is 1997.
7, okay.
So Flash was starting to be a thing.
Yep.
In Photoshop and all. I think it was where it started.
Mm-hmm.
But we were still literally like scanning in painted backgrounds. I mean, the first thing I worked on was a Cadbury's commercial with cells. So I was photographing cells. I was looking at X sheets and I was like timing it out and lighting the scene and doing all that kind of stuff.
Did you say Cadbury?
Cadbury, yeah. The Cadbury, the candy company.
Appropriate for easy.
Yeah, it was a commercial that actually Aaron Springer had done a lot of.
Oh,
like chocolate.
Animation.
You worked on my favorite chocolate?
The barbarian.
Choreograph.
Aaron Springer,
and
yeah,
more.
intense.
He's on the Mickey Shorts, you know.
For sure.
He's a fun guy. And now he was actually he had already moved on to I think Cartoon Network at the time when I was there, so our paths didn't cross there. But I was like basically photographing his drawings, pencil tests, making sure everything was right.
Yeah.
So then again I'll fast forward a little bit, but so then again they needed somebody to do inks. So I was like, I'll do that, and then at first they just had me inking effects, which was like, splatters and stuff. But then my hand was steady enough, so they started giving me characters. And then eventually I was doing in-betweens. And then it sort of just worked out that by the end of the summer, they just offered me an after-school gig.
Wow.
And they said, we'll pay you. And I was like, what?
So you were...
Because I was going to go back to school.
Yeah.
I was like, well, summer's over, everybody, goodbye. And they're like, no, like... If you want to keep coming by after school, like that's okay. And when we'll pay you. And they paid me like it was like $8.50 an hour or something like that. It was like at the time it was probably like right around minimum wage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know what minimum wage is.
$8.50 an hour
still
and
cool.
Yeah, in 1990, 97.
Well, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
but again, I was working like 2 to 4 hours after school.
Yeah.
But that's what I did. So
It was part-time for sure.
It was totally part-time. But I went to school. And then it was great though because then once my teachers found out that I was already working in animation, they stopped giving me so much homework.
Good teacher.
Like the art teachers, because they were like, well, I understand you get this, but like bring in some of your animation. The next thing that you do. So I was bringing in like Old Navy commercials or whatever thing I could go look. I did that and that and that.
I didn't know Spunko did so many commercials.
Yeah, I mean commercials, music videos.
Yeah, I knew that a lot of their music videos.
Yeah, we did a lot of like Tenacious D stuff.
Oh, sweet.
And
Bjork and the Weird Al.
Bjork and Weird Al and the first screen credit that I ever got was on the Boo Boo Runs Wild, the Yogi Bear short.
Oh wow,
for
that
Swim.
Classic.
Yeah.
What year was that made?
98. Yeah.
That was in 98.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was
a while ago.
Yeah, because I remember watching that on Adult Swim like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they aired it around then. Yeah.
It's still in SD.
Yeah.
That's how old it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know it was so old. That's pretty impressive. Should I do the intro again, or are we good to go?
No.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Let's go.
So there was an intro, and then there was about 45 seconds to a minute of awkwardness. That will serve as our musical intro today, just us rambling about nothing. And now, here we are.